Today, we're going to dive into something pretty deep. We're talking about a kind of attraction that has nothing to do with charm or pickup lines. It's a concept the source material calls the shamanic art of soulful seduction. And let me tell you, this isn't about learning new tricks. It's about a complete transformation from the inside out. So let's get into it. Just take a second and let that question really sink in. It's a huge challenge to almost everything we've ever been told about what makes someone attractive, right? It suggests that our vulnerabilities, our big fiery passions, our quiet softness, all the things we might feel a little bit ashamed of or try to tuck away, aren't weaknesses at all. What if they're actually the very source of our magnetism? This is the big idea we're going to unpack today. So, first things first, we have to completely redefine the word seduction. Just throw out the cheesy, superficial meaning you might have in your head. What we're talking about here is something much, much deeper. It's a force that comes from the very core of who you are. Yeah, so the source material lays out this really clear distinction. On one side of the coin, you have shallow seduction. You know what this is. It's the world of lines and tactics and basically putting on a show. It's all about doing something to get a certain reaction from someone else. But then on the other side, you have soulful seduction. And this is about three things: alignment, presence, and wholeness. Notice the difference? It's not about what you do, it's about who you are. The whole idea here is that real, genuine magnetism is just a natural side effect of being in harmony with yourself. Think about what that really means for a second. Putting on a performance takes constant energy, doesn't it? It's exhausting, and deep down you know it isn't real. But in alignment, that's totally different. It's effortless. I love this metaphor of a river. A river doesn't try to flow, it just flows. This shamanic view is saying that true seductive energy is exactly like that. It's this powerful, natural current that comes from a soul that's complete, that's in sync with all of its parts. Okay, so if alignment is the goal, what exactly are we aligning? Well, according to this perspective, it all comes down to two ancient, primordial energies that exist inside every single one of us. They're called the two flames. The first one is the masculine flame. And let's be crystal clear about this. This has absolutely nothing to do with your gender. It's a universal energy we all possess. Think of it as the force of directed action in your life. It's the part of you that sets goals and makes clear decisions. It provides structure, safety, and purpose. The imagery here is just perfect. The sun, right? It's direct, it's unwavering. The mountain, solid, stable. The blade, cutting right through all the noise and confusion to get to the truth. This is your inner architect, your inner warrior. And its perfect counterpart is the feminine flame. And again, this is a universal energy. It's not about being a woman. This is the force of being, of feeling, of creating. It's where your intuition comes from, your empathy, your ability to truly connect with others and with life. The imagery here is so different, but just as powerful. The soft, mysterious moonlight, the deep, wild, ever-changing ocean, the womb of imagination. This is the part of you that feels, that dreams, that connects to the beautiful chaos of life. This is your inner artist, your inner mystic. Now, here is the absolute key. We all have both of these flames inside of us. The whole point isn't to choose one and reject the other, it's to get them to burn together, to dance in a beautiful harmony. When you can be both decisive and compassionate, when you can be both strong and vulnerable, both logical and intuitive, that's when you reach a state of wholeness. And trust me, people feel that. They might not be able to put their finger on it, they might not have the words, but they sense a completeness in you, a depth that is incredibly attractive. That is the source of that mysterious magnetism we're talking about. But of course, most of us aren't walking around in this state of perfect balance. Not even close. So the next logical question is, what happens when that inner dance is broken? I mean, really think about it. What happens when one flame burns so hot and bright that it just scorches the other one out? Or what if one flame is so weak, so neglected that it can barely even cast a light? The harmony is totally lost. The soul starts to feel fractured. And this imbalance, well, it creates very specific, very painful patterns in our lives, and especially in our relationships. Let's look at the first classic example of this imbalance. This is the person, and while it's traditionally associated with men, it can be anyone, who over-identifies with that masculine flame. They worship at the altar of strength, logic, and action. They see emotions, vulnerability, softness. They see all that as weakness. So from the outside, they might look super successful, totally in control, like they have it all together. But on the inside, there's a deep hollowness, a coldness. Their relationships lack real intimacy because they're afraid to be truly seen. They build this fortress to protect themselves, and they end up becoming a prisoner inside of it. And then you have the other side of that same coin. The person, again, often but not exclusively, women who over-identifies with the feminine flame. They are incredibly nurturing, deeply empathetic, always giving. But they've suppressed that masculine energy. They don't set boundaries because they're afraid of conflict. They don't speak their truth. They struggle to take decisive action for their own well-being. So on the surface, they seem so kind, so gentle. But inside, they are exhausted. They feel resentful, and ultimately they feel powerless. Their kindness has become a cage. This right here, this is the core shamanic warning. And it's such a profound psychological truth. The parts of ourselves that we push down, that we deny or repress, they don't just vanish into thin air. Nope, they go down into our subconscious, into what we call our shadow. And they just sit there and fester. They actually gain power in the darkness. So a repressed need for softness and connection can explode out as uncontrollable rage. A repressed need for strength and boundaries can show up as chronic anxiety. And these shadows, they run our lives from behind the scenes, projecting onto our relationships and making us repeat the same painful mistakes over and over and over again. So if ignoring a part of ourselves creates a shadow that literally hunts us, there's only one way forward. You have to turn around, face that shadow, and begin the work of bringing it back into the light. This is the path to wholeness. So what does this wholeness, this balance, actually look and feel like in a real person? Well, it has this beautiful both-and quality to it. It's not about being emotional or logical. It's about being able to fully feel your emotions without being completely swept away by them. It's not about being a doer or a listener. It's about taking purposeful action that's actually informed by deep empathic listening. This balance creates this quiet, unshakable confidence. It's a confidence that doesn't need to be loud or boastful. It's just there. It's a presence. Okay, so let's get practical. How in the world do we actually do this? The source gives us some really concrete rituals. To awaken that dormant feminine flame, which the famous psychologist Carl Jung called the anima, the work is all about softening and opening up. It means giving yourself permission to just feel your feelings without immediately judging them or trying to fix them. It means doing things that are creative, not productive, like making art or music or just writing in a journal. And this last one is huge. It's about practicing how to receive. For anyone who is stuck in doing mode all the time, just allowing someone else to help you or care for you can feel revolutionary. And what about awakening the masculine flame, what Jung called the animus? Well, that work is all about structure and assertion. It's about finding your voice and actually using it, even if it shakes a little at first. It's about learning to trust your own judgment to make a decision and then sticking with it, instead of constantly looking for approval from everyone else. And oh man, setting a boundary, saying no clearly and kindly is one of the most powerful acts of self-protection you can do. Pursuing a tough goal builds that muscle of discipline and purpose. These aren't just things to do, they are powerful practices that literally rebuild your inner architecture. Now, as we start doing this work, as we bring these two flames into a healthier balance, the entire goal of our lives starts to shift. We stop chasing connection, and we start embodying it. And that brings us to the most powerful point of all. Just read that sentence. It's so simple, but it is a radical idea, isn't it? Our entire culture, movies, songs, it all frames love and romance as a chase, a hunt, a game you have to win. We're taught that love is something out there that we need to go and get, pursue, capture, and acquire from someone else. And this is the paradigm shift. This is the secret. The work isn't external, it's all internal. When you do the work to cultivate wholeness within yourself, when you become a reliable source of your own strength and compassion, your own clarity and empathy, you begin to radiate the very energy you used to look for in others. You literally become a living, breathing embodiment of conscious, balanced love. And the amazing thing is, that which you embody, you naturally and effortlessly attract. For me, this is the ultimate takeaway. This is what it's all about. Soulful seduction has nothing to do with pulling someone into your orbit. It's about becoming such a steady, integrated, and whole person that your very presence becomes a source of healing for others. People are drawn to you not because you have a witty comeback, but because when they're around you, they feel a sense of peace. They feel seen. Your wholeness quietly reminds them of the potential for wholeness within themselves. You don't just attract people, you become a light. And so, we're going to end it right there. Not with some neat conclusion, but with a question for you to carry with you. Based on everything we've talked about, which energy inside of you needs a little more of your attention right now? Is it the flame of action and purpose, or is it the flame of feeling and intuition? You don't have to fix your whole life overnight. Just think of one small way you can honor that neglected part of yourself today. That's it. That's where this incredible journey begins.